Mando said.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Radio Labyrinth. This is our final episode of 2020, the year that sucked balls. And I fully expect most of 2021 to suck balls, but maybe a little less after we get through the dark winter. Today, on our final show, we're going to talk about who died, all the celebrities, or at least the ones that we care about who passed away in 2020. And also, Ira has a game. Hello, Ira. Nice to see you.
Who died?
Who died? That's right. Who died? And he gave us the name of it. And of course, it comes from that classic Seinfeld episode that I don't remember the name of, but
it's Jack Klumpus.
Yeah. Who died?
Morty. It's Morty. Yeah. Who died?
Ira has a Christmas casting call game for us, and then of course we'll talk about the ending of season 2 of The Mandalorian, which was pretty fucking awesome if you're into that sort of thing.
The finale.
Yes, it was Jeff has been saying every week it was the most Star Wars-y of Star Wars.
I'm telling you.
Something like that, but this one was definitely the most Star Wars-y of Star Wars-y and all that. But before we get to who died, and we're going to talk about celebrities who passed away in 2020, and I don't want to be frivolous about the year in so much as, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of people have passed away because of the virus. And other people that we know have lost people in their lives. So we're not trivializing it. We just do this to remember the people that in pop culture over the years who have touched our lives. But
this isn't everybody either. This is just a list of some of the people that we love.
Yeah.
People that we can remember.
But more importantly, we have to remember that people out there have lost loved ones. They haven't been able to see loved ones who are sick or who are dying, can't go to funerals. It's been a real fucked up, crazy year. So we want to remember them first and foremost, all the people who have had to deal with that shit all year long, whether it was COVID related or not, people pass away. A good friend of ours from high school, his mother passed away this week, and his mother was friends with Jeff's mother and was friends with my mother. So Jeff and I were kind of kidding last night that they're all sitting down, having a cup of coffee and gossiping about everybody in town and laughing and having a good time. So, well, that's what they did when they were alive. And I would sit there and be a part of it. It was fun. So without further ado, we'll start. These aren't in any particular order. I hope you like the music that's playing underneath. I don't know if it's, I have to check with Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hey, guys.
I put that music thing in there, but it turns out you're not allowed to use that for podcasts. You're allowed to use it for video now.
Oh.
So maybe don't play it for the podcast.
Well, we'll put it on the video and not put it in the podcast.
Weird.
All right, so let's start. First and foremost, we have author Mike McPadden, who's 52 years old and passed away. He was on our show in 2019 in May. Jeff and I interviewed him. He's the author of
Teen Movie Hell.
Teen Movie Hell.
Oh, really? That guy passed away?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So Jeff, do you know anything about what happened?
So he had a heart attack just out of the blue.
Really?
Yeah, leave behind the wife, kid.
Well, we've shared on social media that he has there's a GoFundMe to help with his family. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, he wrote a couple of books, and the one that we talked to him about was, again, Teen Movie Hell. And we had a great conversation. The same episode from May of 2019 with Nick DiPaolo. So, yeah, both of them. I went one-on-one with Nick, and then Jeff and I spoke to Mike. So rest in peace, Mike. Our buddy in Australia, Lee, he's been sharing that. Lee Gambin. So, just try to remember him and do what you can. And check out that book. I mean, at the very least, go to Amazon and buy it. Teen Movie Hell by Mike McPadden.
The proceeds to his family now.
Yeah. Absolutely. So let's get to some of the celebrities this year. And again, in no particular order, we lost Roy Horn, 75 years old, of Siegfried and Roy. Is he the one that got bit by the tiger?
Yeah.
I can't believe he was 75.
Yeah, I know. Well, they look 50. I mean,
I know.
The Botox and all that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we should have known, but yeah, 75. Yeah, I guess those guys were doing that show for a long time before that incident happened, huh?
I know. Now, were they still doing it, or had they stopped?
No, they stopped after the tiger attack.
Yeah, but weren't they after he was feeling all right? Weren't they trying to put something together, sort of? I know they were on TV doing interviews and stuff.
Just tabby cats. They were playing something that can't eat your head.
They were doing otters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Curly Neal, 77 years old. He was in the Harlem Globetrotters. Really, in our heyday, like kids today, I don't know if they could name them, but when we were kids, we could name them.
Yeah.
They were in everything. They were in Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo, yeah.
Gilligan's Island. Remember when Gilligan? It was the Gilligan's Island '70s movie where they get off the island and then they go back to the island.
Right.
And then there's a resort there or something like that.
So ridiculous.
I know. They're playing on it.
Curly was in the quintessential Harlem Globetrotters.
Yes, with Goose and Meadowlark Lemon and that '70s era.
Yeah.
Here's a big one. Kenny Rogers passes away at the age of 81. Really big in our lives growing up. Country music, television movies, cinema.
And a local boy now for where we live now.
Yeah, he'd been here for quite a long time, since I think late 90s.
Yeah.
He lived here. A restaurateur, Kenny Rogers Roasters. I never got into that chicken. But, you couldn't find a country singer more into pop culture than Kenny Rogers, starting with the 70s all the way through now. Orson Bean, 91 years old. Humorist, is that what you would call him?
I don't know who he is.
Yeah. Actor.
Yeah, 91 years old. Interesting cat. He was a interesting fella, and was involved in a lot of different aspects in life. And I think his daughter married Andrew Breitbart. So that's interesting. Kirk Douglas, 103 years old. Spartacus.
Yeah, well,
I thought he'd live forever, Kirk Douglas.
I mean, great.
He was
career.
working on it.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he worked.
103. That's no joke.
He was still acting, I think.
Really?
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. He'd have this.
Doing commercials, reverse mortgage commercials, and that type of stuff.
I'm Tom Selleck. I wouldn't do a commercial like this if I wanted to rip off your family.
Right.
Reverse mortgage. Neil Peart. This one hits.
Yeah.
Well, let's have the argument. Is it Peart or is it Peart? Did we find out?
I said it wrong. It's Neil Peart.
Well, I know, but there was what does Getty say? Getty says Peart, right?
I think, yeah.
If you were in bands when you were in high school or whenever, mostly in high school, but back in the day, in the 80s or early 80s, late 70s, and you talk to any drummers, and everybody's just talking about Neil Peart. Of course, at the time they're saying Peart,
right?
And back in the 80s, so ridiculous, but everybody's like, oh, he had the rototoms up here, and he had like 10 of them, and then he had 14 bass drums, and it's like, all right, we look at it nowadays, and we'd be like, well, who cares, However, he could back that up.
Right. And what bands today do you see that have drums?
Right.
It's all just, the nonsense, the noise. It's all noise, whistles and pops and
or if they are a real rock band, they're using a little 5-piece or something. But nobody's using double bass. But he is the most air-drummed drummer in history. Correct?
I would say so. I'd say out of all the drummers, the ones that I really like listening to would be him.
Yeah.
Ringo.
Alex Van Halen. Who?
Oh, yeah.
Ringo.
I mean, Ringo never really did anything spectacular.
But drummers are into Ringo.
Yeah, but I'm talking like John Bonham and Keith Moon and the guys that played the part. Ringo was a tactician when he played the drum.
Right.
Peter Criss.
Yeah, today's Peter Criss's birthday. The day we're recording.
Oh, really?
Oh, happy birthday, Peter Criss! Listen. Yeah, I follow Paul Stanley on Twitter. He's great. Yeah. Listen, mask up. Hey,
I follow Gene.
Well, Paul's son just put out a single, and it's like listening to auto-tune Paul Stanley.
Really?
Really bad music. Yeah, it's not good. It sounds like Seven Dust with Paul Stanley as the lead singer. Something shitty like that.
He sounds like Paul, though?
Yeah, thanks to auto-tune. I mean, they're going to sound alike because they grew up together, but or he grew up with his dad, but he doesn't have the range that I have. I could scream and holler, do all that kind of stuff. Not right now because I'm not getting paid for it.
You wanted the son of the best. You got the son of the best.
Tim, you do your Paul, and it's, of course, it's like a caricature. It's a little over the top. However, the last time I saw Kiss in concert,
Mm-hmm.
he was more over the top than you would ever be with himself.
Hey, everybody, listen. Blah, blah,
I'm telling you.
It's rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, he was like, hey, Atlanta, the last time we were here. I was like, oh, my God.
The last time we were here. I ran into Kevin Kenny last week. We had last Friday off because we aired the Von Hessler Doctrine, aired the Christmas.
Nice work, by the way.
Oh, God, Eric did a great job on that.
Yeah.
And, the songs were really good. English Nick doing the cover of the Slade.
Oh, man, that's a great recording.
Yeah, nailed it. And
that kicks ass.
Kevin Kenny recorded a new single, a new song for the special. Anyway, I was down in Little 5 Points doing a little shopping, and I walked in, or when I was walking back to my car, I saw Kevin walking his dogs. I'm like, Kevin, great job on the special. And he turned around and went, hey. I don't think he saw me. And then I ran up to him. He's like, oh, I didn't recognize you. My hair looked like, I look like a freak, with the hat and hair everywhere. Anyway, another couple of big names in comedy that we lost this year, Fred Willard and Buck Henry.
Oh.
Fred Willard, 86 years old. I never thought he was that old. He never looked it.
86, jeez.
Yeah, Buck Henry, 89 years old.
Yeah.
If you don't know who those two people are, well, I don't know to tell you. You go look them up. But it was those are big names in comedy, especially for the 70s and 80s. When even Buck Henry, 60s. He wrote The Graduate and many, many other things.
Yeah.
James Lipton, 93 years old.
Wow.
James Lipton.
93. That
yeah.
guy.
Well, he looked 93 20 years ago.
Yeah.
With the wig and.
Yeah.
Should be on the. I loved Will Ferrell's. Was it Will Ferrell who did him on SNL?
Yeah.
Did a really good job. Here's one that I always thought he was 100 years old. Max von Sydow.
Oh, yeah.
90 years old. Favorite Max von Sydow roles? Well, he played Jesus. He played an evil, I don't know what they did, an evil bottler in Strange Brew.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Ming the Merciless in the Flash Gordon.
Right.
Let's see, he was in Needful Things, the Stephen King miniseries that was on television a number. He's been in a ton of stuff. Most
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. Star Wars, what was that movie called? The Force Awakens? First sequel?
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so Max von Sydow, a very prolific actor, and he will be missed. Ian Holm, 88 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Star of
Bilbo.
many movies in Alien, Bilbo Baggins.
Right. Well, we lost a few people that were in, and we'll get to Sean Connery, but in the movie Time Bandits.
Yes.
And when Ian Holm died, the first thing I thought was his Napoleon in Time Bandits, which was hysterical.
He was really good in The Fifth Element. Fifth Element, I don't think gets enough love. I know people either love it or hate it. I love it.
I never liked it.
That's what I
love it.
People either love it or hate it.
You guys are wacko. What am I going to do? What can I tell you?
Multipath. I think he's great in that.
Good.
When he's playing that kind of role.
Watch it again, Ira. It holds up, man.
No, I'm not watching that thing again. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I don't have time.
It's a 1960s comic graphic novel that came to life.
Yep.
All right. Because of you guys, I will give it another shot.
All right.
Come up to my apartment in the sky. Have a few laughs. Jerry Stiller, 92 years old. Ben Stiller's father, but of course.
Oh, wait, isn't today Festivus?
Is it today?
It might be.
17th or 18th.
So it's already passed.
No, I thought it was the 23rd, which would be tomorrow.
23rd is Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. I don't know. Well, somebody looked at it.
Yeah, it is the 23rd.
Okay.
See?
The airing of the grievances.
You might be listening to this or watching this right now, and it's Festivus in honor of Jerry Stiller.
You'll be listening to this after Tuesday, the 29th. So.
Oh, really?
Belated Festivus to all of you. You have plenty of time to air grievances before the year is up.
Never mind. There's not enough time for me to air my grievances.
But Jerry Stiller, prolific in the comedy scene, 70s, 80s. He and his wife, Ann Mara, did a lot of stuff together. I always loved the 70s and 80s. They were very funny. Kelly Preston, this one was a shock, 57 years old. John Travolta's wife.
Right.
But an actress in her own right in a ton of movies.
Was she a Scientologist also?
I don't know. I would assume so. They're not allowed to marry outside of their cult. I mean,
Yeah, that's right. They don't allow treatment for cancer, right?
I don't know.
Oh, really? Is that the deal?
I think you're supposed to go in a room and shout at it until it goes away.
You're supposed to audit until it goes away.
Yeah, Leah Remini, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
She wrote this thing that said that Tom Cruise rant that was captured last week was all fake and done just for Scientology. So she's really bitter. It sounded to me like he was honestly pissed off at you.
Yeah.
Wilford Brimley apparently ran out of oatmeal. He died at age 85. The Natural, The Firm. In The Firm, it's great because speaking of Tom Cruise, beats the shit out of him in The Firm. Cocoon. And like I said, The Natural. Lots and lots of stuff. But definitely big. Grant Imahara, only 49 years old from Mythbusters. And how did he pass away, Jeff? I
Had
forget.
a brain aneurysm. Just
Nice.
like getting struck by lightning, just out of the blue.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was one of
This is getting depressing. Why are we doing this?
Well, we're remembering. We're not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not going, hey, isn't this great? Diana Rigg, 82 years old. Now, she was on the Avengers, and she was a kind of a cute, not the Marvel movie, but the old British series, the Spies or whatever, the Avengers, and she was a cute little 60s mod British tart. Ended up being on Game of Thrones and playing the grandmother.
Oh, that's right. Oh, she was great.
Yeah, fantastic in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Great deviant.
She killed Joffrey. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, she killed.
Thanks,
Joffrey.
Jeff.
Here's one that nobody expected, totally out of the blue. Kobe Bryant and his daughter died a bunch of people died in a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning of the year, or right around the beginning of COVID, and I mean, it was just a shock, and the whole country was like shocked. Kobe Bryant, one of the best basketball players in the history of the NBA, and probably the last one that everybody looked up to. Now everything's polarizing, but everybody loved Kobe.
I mean, you don't hear a lot about helicopter crashes, but I think they're more common than you would think, you know?
Yeah, and there was also an issue with there was fog, and they didn't have.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
But I think people actually walk away from helicopter crashes sometimes.
They do.
Yeah. I mean, they can get them, if they know something's up, they can get them low to the ground.
Yeah.
Or it's still horrific, but,
They crashed into a mountain or something because they couldn't see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, I used to do traffic. I used to go in the helicopter. I remember like 2 years I did that. And I think when I was at GST.
What was your traffic name?
No. I was working the camera up there. That was when they could afford to have a camera guy and a reporter.
Okay.
And that went away quickly. But I used to just sit in back and do the camera. But I do it twice a day. And I mean, yeah, it was a while. And at least like once every 2 weeks, I was like, this is it. This could be it.
Yeah.
we were in weather or something weird happened. And it was a little nerve-wracking.
Never been in one. I've never have.
Oh, it's awesome.
Maybe I'll get to go into one someday. 88 years old, Regis Philbin passed away.
Oh, I loved Regis.
Yeah, I did too. He was a good game show host, and of course, Regis and Kathy.
He was a good all-around host.
Yeah, all around. He was entertaining and full of verve.
It was like an old version of Jared, Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, come on, let's go.
Right.
He's got the record for the most hours on TV.
Is it really?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Little Richard passed away, 86.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Real big and a pioneer of rock and roll music.
Richard Pettyman.
Yep. Was he from Georgia?
Yeah. It's from Macon.
Macon, yeah.
Another very shocking. Well, it wasn't shocking to people who knew him, but I didn't know he was ill. Chadwick Boseman from Black Panther, and what other movie was he in recently?
His last movie just came out on Netflix this week.
Right.
Well, he was 43 years old and he passed away. He had cancer, and
he was hiding it, right?
Well, he wasn't hiding it so much as he didn't tell anybody about it.
He didn't make it public, but his family did public.
Yeah. He I guess because he didn't want people to, fawn over him, and he didn't want to appear sick.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said for that.
I remember our buddy Earl had a big post about him, and I guess they had gotten pretty close. And I remember Earl Brown, W. Earl Brown.
Right.
Made some big post after he passed away and just talked about how much, some big story about them going out and having a good time and how like humble he was with fans and people that loved him and everything. You know, I just remember that. It was really nice.
And I don't know what they're going to do with the franchise. They said they're not going to replace him, so it'll be somebody else will take over in that role. Eddie Van Halen, 65 years old.
Yeah, that was going to be my my background if I was able to do it, but I can't do it.
65 years old. We had expected it because he's been fighting cancer for at least 20 years.
But he was another one that wasn't super public about it. I mean, you knew about the tongue cancer, and then it went away, and then you just didn't hear anything for a while, you know? It wasn't in the news or anything. Not that Van Halen was doing too much, I guess.
Well, I watched a video Wolfgang put out from when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And you can tell Eddie really, really was a loving father.
Yeah. Seemed like a great guy. Everybody loved him.
Sean Connery, 90, passes away. Sean Connery, can't do him.
You know, the news of that kind of came and went.
It did.
You know what I mean? You know, it's like I didn't hear much about. I was like, really?
Wasn't it election week?
I think so.
Yeah, it might have been election week because that was nothing was going to top that news.
Right. I mean, Connery's pretty big.
Yeah. But he's also been out of the spotlight for a number of years.
Yeah, probably for good reason.
Yeah.
You know, he had.
Well,
some
this year
incidents.
kind of did that for everybody, though. I mean, as far as overshadowing, I mean, anyone, you know, it unfortunately this year has been synonymous with disaster. So, I think a lot of these people that would have been, you know, a lot more heralded, you know, when this happened, just kind of got pushed by with everything else going on.
Yeah, COVID is Michael Jackson, and everyone else is Farrah Fawcett. They died in the same day, and you know, like, oh, Farrah Fawcett died.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't laugh, but that is a good analogy.
Thank you. Oh, you didn't frame it in the form of a question. Alex Trebek passes away, and his final episode airs this Friday, the 25th, which I believe is Christmas. Of course, this episode is out after that, but that'll be the final one. And I guess so. They haven't really announced a permanent guest host, but it'll be Ken Jennings for a while.
Will it? How do you think he'll be as a host?
People don't like him.
No?
No.
I think people are going into it with a lot of memory of Alex, and I don't think they would like anybody.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think they like anybody either.
But you got to be leery of reading about it on social media, because you'll see that post that says Ken Jennings took over and the internet went nuts. That just means a bunch of douchebags on Twitter that nobody cares about in real life. But definitely Alex Trebek. I mean, he's been on the TV every day for my entire life, all of our lives.
And even when he shaved his mustache, we still knew who he was.
That's right. Although I like the mustache, I didn't like him with that.
Of course.
David Prowse, 85 years old, Darth Vader, the original guy in the suit. Did the dialogue in the original movie, but of course it was overdubbed by
James
Jones. Yeah. There's a lot of people making memes now of a lot of people from the original Star Wars are gone. Carrie Fisher, Kenny Baker, who is R2-D2, David Prowse. Who was it that played Chewbacca? What was his name?
It was Peter Mayhew.
Peter Mayhew, thank you.
Peter Mayhew. I was close. Not
he died.
Good.
Charlie Pride, 86 years old, country singer. Yeah. Charlie Pride, 86 years old. Is anybody going to San Antone?
Guy's got an interesting story.
What's that?
You guys got an interesting story, Charlie Pride.
What do you mean?
I remember here when he passed away, you know, a bunch of radios, and I was just watching. They were just talking about how he got into music and stuff he had to overcome, and
I imagine he had to overcome a lot given when he came up in country.
That's what I'm saying. You know,
use that bathroom, Charlie.
Especially coming up in Mississippi, in that time frame, that's
right.
That's amazing that he lived, much less made a success of himself.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, now they have a little Nas X who can go down the street.
Right. The guy from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Well, he's actually, I mean, he looks like a country singer, you know. Little Nas X, like, hey, listen, I'm a country singer. The auto-tune gay country that's taking the world by storm. So rest in peace, Charlie Pride. Another very important person in music, Jon Prine. He was one of the first people to pass away, famous people to pass away from COVID at age 73. Probably had an awful lot of music still left in him. But he had been sick anyhow.
Yeah, he had a lot of health issues on top of the COVID catching up to him.
He was one of the first big guys that died from it, I remember. Because it wasn't earlier, wasn't it like March or April?
Yeah, right out of the gate. Yep.
Right, and I remember he was like the first one where everybody was like, oh, okay, this is serious, you know?
Yep. He had a lot of comorbidities.
He just had a lot of, there was a lot of, his death caused a lot of ripples in the country music world with the CMA not giving him any type of recognition at their awards.
They didn't,
and kind of left him out of any. Once he had died a few weeks before they had the awards, and the awards ceremony came up, and they said they're not going to represent him at all. Well, in their defense, they say that they don't do that normally. They don't do a yearly passing of people. But it was kind of, they had made a few exceptions over the years for certain people, but they didn't want to make one for him. So that was the reason why Jason Isbell and what's his name, the new guy,
Sturgill.
Stuart Sturgill. Yeah, both of them backed out of the CMA. They said, okay, you won't represent him, then we won't be part of your association anymore.
Huh. I didn't know there was all that going.
And the CMAs are like, well, that's okay. You guys don't wear jeans with studs on them and sing about banging chicks in your truck.
Well, to be fair, most of their, they've won Grammys and things and other, through different things. But the Americana Music Awards, the AMAs, that's really where they shine. So it wasn't that much of a pull, in my opinion. But
yeah, they're not. Mainstream country won't touch those guys with a 10-foot pole. It's all about, hey, buy some beer and have some sex and sing about it and fucking the Budweiser.
But yeah, I understand too. Jason and him were real tight. They were really good friends, and so yeah, I understand the.
And he's an ornery fuck anyhow, Jason Isbell. If you follow his Twitter.
Oh yeah,
he is
opinionated.
Well, I don't care about it. He just seems ornery.
He can be. He's a nice enough guy. But
I like his music.
Yeah, he's got some attitude.
David Lander passed away. We talked about that recently. 73 years old. Squiggy. From Laverne and Shirley, but a voice actor.
Hello, Levine.
Yeah, there you go. Do that again.
Hello, Levine.
That was perfect.
I played him. I dressed up as him for Halloween once because I had another friend of mine who was taller, who kind of looked like Lenny.
Mm-hmm.
So he did Lenny, and I did Squiggy, and I got the little curl, with the
Nice.
on the leather jacket, and we walked around all night doing that, going, "Hey, Levine."
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Hello.
Hello. If you watch old clips of that show, which you forget how great that show was. Actually, Laverne and Shirley was amazing.
It was a good show. The father, her father, who ran the pizza joint. Now, when it moved out to California, it lost an awful lot, but it was still funny. Man. But the Milwaukee years, absolutely a funny show.
Schlemiel Schlemazel.
Austin Pfeffer and I made a poem. Whoopee. Boo Boo Kitty. But it was one of those shows that even when you're a kid, it's like, why do all these guys want to bang Laverne? It was the same thing with Alice. It was like, is Flo just, open her legs for any truck driver, or is there's something about her? Because I never
we know what it was.
No, but you look back now, it's like Flo. I'd rather bang Vera.
Yeah.
Or Mel. But they always had these actresses in these 70s and 80s, early 80s sitcoms, like, oh, she's a floozy, or she's really sexy and she gets laid all the time. And I'm just like, okay. Yeah. Laverne. Shirley Feeney was a little hotter. Okay. Chuck Yeager, 97 years old, passed away. Is the first pilot to break the sound barrier, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep. And I believe to orbit the Earth. I don't know. Not very good with my history. Alan Garfield passed away at age 80. And then here's a bunch of, I don't know how old they were when they died, but we're going to mention it. Billy Joe Shaver, an outlaw country singer. very prolific. Norm Macdonald, huge fan of his. Not commercially successful, but very popular in the alt country and in the traditional.
And then he went on to front Green Day, which was kind of cool.
Did, yeah. There's a great song. I've been to Georgia on a fast train, or people and their problems. Check that one out. If you've never heard Billy Joe Shaver, you'll like that song. Terry Jones, Monty Python, passed away.
Yeah.
He had Alzheimer's or something like that, or Parkinson's. Jeanette Dubois from Good Times. She was another one that was always like getting laid all the time. Like she was the hot one. And I'm like,
right.
No. Velma. Or Thelma. Not Velma. Velma was Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, yeah.
Same thing applies. Good Times. She sang the Jeffersons theme. I'm sure she did a lot more than that.
Wait, wasn't she Lenny Kravitz's mom?
No. Mm-mm. No, Lenny Kravitz's mom is Roxy Roker, who was on Jefferson. She played the upstairs neighbor, Helen Willis.
That's right. I'm sorry. I was confused.
Cut that out. Every black lady in Hollywood.
No, just
Lenny Kravitz's mother.
Wasn't Butterfly
wires crossed? Lenny Kravitz's mother.
Did she marry Reginald Bell Johnson?
I heard Good Times and I heard Jeffersons, and I was like, wait.
Bobby Batista from CNN. She was very much prevalent in 80s and 90s as an anchor. And when CNN wasn't as big as it is today, but it was still big. Bobby Batista, she had those big eyes. She was a really good anchor person. And I always liked her. Wasn't on TV for a long time, but she actually worked. Remember the Onion News Network? She would do stuff for them. She had a real good sense of humor.
Oh, good.
And she would play anchor on their thing. Brian Dennehy passed away.
Oh, yeah. First Blood.
Man.
Yes, First Blood.
Tommy Boy.
Oh, yeah, Tommy Boy. Ratatouille.
Oh, yeah?
Brian's song.
Uh-huh. Tons and tons and tons of stuff Brian Dennehy did. He was a good actor.
He was great. He was just one of those character actors. It was like, oh, yeah, he's in this.
Patton Oswalt tells a really good story about him, and it might be feeling kind of Patton. I don't remember which album it is, or Werewolves and Lollipops, but he's like, he runs into Brian Dennehy at a party, and they're, he's talking about how actors have to try to stay thin, and they're at this party, and then he looks up again, and Dennehy's shoving food in his mouth, and he elbows Patton Oswalt and goes, character actors, we can eat whatever the fuck we want.
That is a good story.
Bill Withers passed away. Now there's sunshine because he's gone.
Yeah.
Lyle Wagner. Do you guys remember Lyle Wagner?
Lyle Wagner.
Mm-hmm. Two biggest shows in his career: Carol Burnett Show. He was a bit player on that, or he was a cast member actually, but he wasn't a top billed cast member. And he was in Wonder Woman, the Linda Carter series from the 70s, and I believe that people watched that show simply for him and his acting.
I think so.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I did, because I was into that.
Of course.
Ken Osmond passed away. He was on Leave It to Beaver. He was Eddie Haskell. Squirt. I've told the story about how I rode in his truck and smoked cigarettes with him in L.A.
Oh, that's right.
Carl Reiner.
Yeah.
Probably one of the biggest names. Pardon, Jeff?
That was a sad one.
Yeah.
Was. Well, I mean, he was, how old was he? 95? Something like that? This is the one you don't have ages for.
Very, very old, but very, very much a part of pop culture since
the
beginning of television.
He's still active, writing books and doing all kinds of stuff right up till the day he died.
He's doing podcasts. I mean, he was on Gilbert, I think, and it was amazing.
One of the things that the saddest thing about it is that his best friend couldn't see him or go to his funeral.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks. Yeah, I'm glad you said it, because the next thing I had in queue was Mel Torme. Ennio Morricone. I don't know how you say it. It's Italian. He did all the music for the Spaghetti Western. That's right.
The Thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, The Thing. Ooh, I'm going to rewatch that.
Yeah.
Hateful
Eight.
Oh, yes. The Hateful Eight. Hugh Downs, one of the original hosts of 2020 with Barbara Walters, prolific news magazine host for years. And Richard Hurd will be the last name on the list here. Richard Hurd, you remember him? He was George's boss on Seinfeld, right?
He was one of George Sponson.
I think he was the boss at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And then he was also in V. He was the head muckety muck in the original V series. The one that they jumped on stage and ripped his face. But he was a character actor in an awful lot of stuff. So
He was on Star Trek too.
yes, who do you play on that?
Can't remember. Next Generation, I think.
Oh, Next Gen, you probably would have been like
Voyager, Star Trek Voyager.
oh, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, I've only watched those episodes once. I mean, it's not a bad show. The first season's boring as fuck, but then it gets better. Yeah, and then Star Trek 5, terrible because Shatner directed it. Pardon me. And then they have that ridiculous plot of the Vulcan who says he's God. Anyway, that's just a partial list of who passed away, but you know, we want to remember all those people, and you know, they're going to be with us until we go. You know, and they've made an awful lot. Oh, did I say Helen Reddy? I didn't say Helen Reddy. Helen Reddy. I wasn't ready because Helen Reddy passed away as well. And she sang lots of songs in the 70s. My mom liked her. She had the record, I Am Woman.
She was in Pete's Dragon.
She was in Pete's Dragon. She was Australian. She was a woman. Hear her roar.
Yep.
In Numbers Too Big to Ignore. Nah, no, too much to go back home again. Ira, you have a game.
Yeah, would you like to play it?
I would love to play your game.
It is a Christmas-themed game. Since we are in the land of Christmas, although Christmas has already passed if you're listening to this or watching this.
That's okay.
I hope you had a good one.
And Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, let's say Happy New Year.
Merry New Year.
Merry New Year. No,
Happy New Year. In this country, we say Happy New Year. Oh, thank you for correcting my English. Stinks.
There was a game that we used to play called Casting Call.
Mm-hmm.
This will be Christmas Casting Call involving Christmas movies, popular Christmas movies. Now, the way we played this game was I will tell you 3 of the main characters of the movie, the character names, not the actor names.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. You call out your name if you know the movie.
Okay.
As soon as you do, just by hearing the character names. And the first one to do that gets the point.
Okay.
This will be a short one. All right?
All right.
Are you ready to start?
Let's go.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Number 1. Marv, Harry.
Yeah.
Midnight Express or Midnight Run.
Home Alone.
These are Christmas movies.
Oh.
Jeff
got it.
got it. Home Alone. It was Marv, Harry, and Kevin.
Aren't those 2 names both in Midnight Run? Harv?
Marv and Harry? No.
Yeah. All right, forget it.
I mean, possibly.
I don't know.
But it wasn't Jack and John, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, Marvin. Yeah, you're thinking of Marvin.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. I take it back. All right, number 2. Sam the Snowman, Yukon Cornelius.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Very good.
Yeah.
Told you this would be easy. It's a game of speed.
Snowman's name was Sam?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's what it says on IMDb. IMDb doesn't lie, do they?
No.
All right. Number 3, and I just watched this recently, very recently. Walter, Jovi, Buddy.
Elf.
Very good. I think Dustin got that one.
Tied up.
Number 4. Patty, Lucy,
Peanuts.
Christmas.
Very good. Charlie Brown. Well, technically it's
Charlie
a Charlie
Brown
Brown. It's just 1965. I forgot I was going to give you the years on this stuff. All right, number 5.
Uh-huh.
I also saw this very recently with the kids for the first time, and they loved it, which I was very happy about. Randy, Flick,
A Christmas
Ralphie.
Story.
Very good, Jeff.
Yeah.
1983 Christmas Story. All right, number 6. John, Holly.
Die Hard.
Very good. Wow,
Yeah.
that was good.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
1988. My last one, the last name was going to be Hans, and then you guys should have gotten it. Number
I
7.
got it at Holly, thanks.
Billy, Mary, George.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Very good. 1946. Wow, Tim, you're cleaning up over here.
There's only 3 more, so Jeff could tie, but Dustin, you can't win.
Number 8.
Just kidding.
This might be tough because I haven't seen this movie in forever.
Okay.
Jin, Marcus, Willie from 2003. Jin, Marcus, Willie. I'll give you a hint. Marcus was a little person.
Oh, bad Santa.
Very good.
Who got it? Jeff?
I think Jeff got that.
Yeah.
All right, number 9.
All right.
The penultimate question.
All right. Here we go.
Elliot, Claire, Frank from 1988. Elliot, played by a comedian you know very well. Claire, played by an actress that was in Raiders of the Lost Ark. And Willie.
Oh, Scrooge.
Very good. Who got that?
I got it. Just said O first.
1988 Scrooge. All right. Last question.
Okay.
Number 10. This will be easy. Audrey, Rusty,
Christmas
Clark.
Vacation.
From 1989. Who won?
Final score ended up being me with 5, Jeff with 4, and Dustin with 1.
Oh, congratulations.
We all win for just playing.
Right. Well, and that is Christmas casting call.
Yeah, thanks, Ira.
Thank you, Ira. You know, I love that casting call game. I wish we would play it more.
We could.
Hey, we could. Why
We
not?
could.
We could play it more. I don't know.
We just need more holidays.
We need more holidays. We'll do
Yeah.
Flag Day.
Yeah.
Flag.
National Potato Week.
They starred Ronald McDonald. All right, so we're going to wrap up this episode by talking about the Mandalorian a little bit and a little bit about Star Wars.
Hey, Mando.
So I'm assuming we've all seen it.
Man.
Yes.
The finale and how freaking awesome it was, and that we were all smart enough to stick around for the end scene credits so we could see the post-credit scene with Boba Fett.
You guys piss me off though that are watching this shit during the day on Friday. I gotta stay off.
No, Ira. I'm on you. Same thing. I watch it at night.
Would you guys get up at 3 a.m. and watch it like a normal fucking person?
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, I'm typically up past midnight, so I do think about it. But then, I wait for Friday night.
I do too. There's peace and quiet, and you imbibe a little bit. You sit down and you watch your Mando.
I'm actually sad that we don't have any more of that for a year.
Gallery season 2 starts Christmas Day though.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. But I want some more story.
Man, how great was that, huh?
Yes.
I think maybe W. Earl Brown is working on the Boba Fett show.
Oh, really?
So, well, yeah, Tatooine.
He indicated that he was going to work on Star Wars very shortly after we recorded the podcast with him.
Right.
And they're filming that Boba Fett now.
All right.
And after that, they're going to film Mando season 3. So
they're filming them at the same time. There's a shooting schedule, 2 different shooting schedules at the same time. One of the people who writes for both shows, he put it on Twitter, and then Disney jumped in and he had to clarify some things. But there's 2 separate shooting schedules, and they take place at the same time. So that's pretty freaking awesome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad to hear that. So they're doing the Boba Fett thing and Mandalorian, right?
Right.
Season,
A lot of people are speculating that maybe the book of Boba Fett was going to be season 3 of Mandalorian.
Right, which I was kind of upset about because I wanted, Pedro.
The writer said that they'd be 2 different entities, so that kind of put the end to that.
And then
All right, good.
Favreau spilled the beans on Good Morning America.
Did he?
One of the morning shows.
All right,
So,
well, good.
yeah.
That makes me happy.
We wanted to clear it up.
It was
A
just-
lot of people were saying that maybe it was Mando season 3.
It was just the way that they're putting all this stuff out, using the books and chapters as title fronts, and then when they say that the next one's going to be the book of Boba Fett, they're like, okay, does that close the book?
Right.
On Mando? But no, I think they were just like, no, that's just the way that we're telling all this Star Wars stuff is like volumes of a book. So
Right.
So the way this episode unfolded, it was awesome Mandalorian shit. Mandalorian cool. and it was some awesome Force shit, which you'll see at the end of the episode. But of course, Grogu is on the starship. He's being held by Moff Gideon, and when they do their whole plan to go and attack the spaceship, the starship, or the Star Destroyer. He's on a light cruiser. He's not on a Star Destroyer.
Like a tiny Star Destroyer.
Yeah, a tiny one. They call it something else. But anyway, so Mando, Din, and what's her name? Boca Raton.
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. Not Boca Raton. I wrote Boca Raton, but Boca-Katan. And
Boca Vista.
yes, and the whole crew, they go and they of course kill all the weak ass stormtroopers, which sucks because they stink. And they confront Moff Gideon. All Mandalorian wants is the kid. He just wants the kid. He doesn't care about the sword. He doesn't care about anything. He tells Moff Gideon to fuck off. Just give me the kid and I'll leave. And I have everything I need from him. I have his blood.
Too easy, no?
No, because Gideon laid it out. He said, "Listen, this is I got what I needed. You take him." And Mandalorian's like, "Fuck it, I don't care about your stupid."
Yeah, well, I guess he did try to kill him after he took.
Yeah, well, he lied to him, set him up, and then
and
then Mandalorian beats the shit out of him and takes the dark sword.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
That was an awesome battle though between the dark saber and the Beskar staff that Mando had.
Yeah.
So the legend, and then we find out that Mando is going to give the dark sword to Boca Raton,
right?
And
you mean Starbuck?
Yeah, to Starbuck Boca Raton, Boca Raton. He's going to hand her the sword, but he can't do that because you can only. It's like Harry Potter. You can't possess the wand unless you win it from the other.
He's like, all right, I yield.
Yeah. But okay, so I didn't know any of that backstory, and then as I'm watching, I watched this channel called Star Wars Theory.
Oh yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah, do you watch that?
No, but now that I know about it, I'll get into it.
Oh, this guy, he'll do like quick little 1-minute videos, and he'll do 2.5 hour complete Darth Vader timeline, like everything about Anakin. And so everything. But he gets into the comic books. He knows what's canon and what isn't. And Mandalorian made me seek that out because there's a lot of characters in there. You have to go back to Rebels or you have to go back to
Clone Wars
to find out who they are.
Yeah, which is weird that you have to watch animated stuff to figure out, that's the first time that this has ever happened, right?
Well, I mean, it's smart, right? Disney?
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to have guys like all adults watching all the animated stuff?
I feel like an idiot sitting there and watching Rebels because it's obvious. It's so written.
Are you watching it?
Yeah, but it's so written for teenagers. And you can tell that it's written for teenagers, but it's still cool. The animation's cool. And there's, Darth Vader shows up or this and that, R2-D2 and C-3PO show up.
Right.
But getting back to Mandalorian, so the whole battle rages. And then these things called the Dark Troopers, which are droids.
Yeah, those things were pretty badass.
Yeah, they are pretty badass. They're mean looking. They look like Darth Vader. They're scary.
Darth Vader / Iron Man.
Yeah.
/ Terminator. They were like Terminator.
Right. Star Boca Raton had to fight Cylons again. And even though she never confronted one. So they're up in the bridge and they have Gus Fring. And they're going to blow up the meth lab. And but the robots are out pounding on the boom, pounding on the door. And then you see an X-Wing fighter land, and you're like, who could that be?
Right.
Like, you didn't know who it was when the X-Wing landed. You're nuts. Other people, it could have been Leia. Oh, really?
Well, no, I mean,
looked, and you can't tell that there's R2-D2s on it.
No, but it's an X-Wing fighter. Who would fly an X-Wing fighter?
They've showed a few X-Wings in Mando.
That's true.
But
they're always in They're always in groups.
Yeah,
he's the only one that has his own.
I mean, my first thought was
going to show up.
My first thought was Luke, but I almost thought it was too on the nose. I was like, nah, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't make it Luke. That would be too easy, right?
Star Wars theory.
Yeah, I think that was the everything. That was the actual crux was that no, they'll never think it's Luke.
Yeah,
right.
Actually, I thought it would be Ezra, but
Ezra
would introduce. Right, I thought that would be the introduction, something.
To bring up Ezra from Rebels, you bring up Sabine from Rebels, who was the Mandalorian on the ship on the Ghost with the crew. She's the spray paint artist, and she's a kick-ass fighter. This is why I was bringing it up. She won the dark sword from Darth Maul and gave it to Boca.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be able to remember her name, so I'm just going to say Boca Raton. Handed the sword to that character.
Okay.
And that character took it. There was no, you have to win it in a battle. She just went to Mandalore and said, I am your ruler. So that's just a little weird twist in that.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me either. I was like,
But
it's okay for canon to come from Rebels, but not anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Speaking of canon, the Clerks Death Star talk is now canon.
That's true.
The what?
What does that mean?
You know, they had that conversation in Clerks about the roofers and the plumbers and shit.
Yeah. That guy brought it up. Yeah, that was awesome.
Like, you don't need millions of people got killed when the Death Star blew up.
Yeah. Oh, did he take that from Clerks? He had to have.
Yeah.
Put that into the story. That's pretty cool. So, I mean, all in all, it was a great season, and that final episode was freaking amazing. I'm back interested in Star Wars again.
Yeah.
You gotta watch that gallery, man.
I will, but
I'm really looking forward to season 2 starting on Christmas Day.
It's amazing.
I watched The Phantom Menace again. And
you know what? I tried to as well. Yeah, what happened?
okay, I had a false start. I put it on and I started watching. I'm like, I can't watch this again.
Yeah.
But then I made myself watch it, and only from a canon point of view of reminding myself about some of these characters. But some of it is good, some of it is really bad. First of all, Jake Lloyd, terrible, completely awful. They could have had an older kid. They should have had like a 10 or 11-year-old kid who was cocky and arrogant. And then it takes me to I watched it, and then I'm like, all right, now I'm going to start. The worst of the three, I think, is Attack of the Clones, only because of those scenes on Naboo between Anakin Skywalker and Padme. They're horrible. I had to fast forward through them, and on the iPad you can just drag it. So anytime I saw the wipe, and they would be in Naboo, I'm like, all right, I can skip back to Qui-Gon. Who was on Naboo, but you know what I mean. I just can't watch any of that shit. It's so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. But then you get to the fight scene and it's kind of cool. And there's some cool shit in that movie. And then you see the origin of Boba Fett watching his father get his head chopped off.
The Camino stuff was cool.
Right. The Camino stuff is cool because that's going to play into a lot of things. It could be Grogu. We don't know. Grogu could be a clone. We don't know. We don't know how Grogu got taken out of the Jedi Temple. We don't know how he survived Anakin. Did Anakin let him live? Did Darth Sidious let him live? We don't know. And that's what the Mandalorian's going to explore in the future, along with the shows that are going at the same time. The Book of Boba Fett. There's rumor, I saw it today, that there's going to be a Luke Skywalker series. There's also an Obi-Wan series. So this is all shit that's in between the end of, the episode 7 or episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and before The Force Awakens.
Right. And the Ahsoka series too, right?
Yeah. And then that one, with the dead guy from Rogue One, that I probably won't watch.
Oh yeah. Diego Luna.
I don't give a shit about. I didn't care about. I mean, I liked that.
I liked Rogue One.
I did too, but he wasn't the guy I liked. I liked the star and
Jin.
Yeah, whatever her name is. But they got me hooked, and it's all due to Dave Filoni and
Favreau.
Yeah,
Yeah. Dave Filoni definitely, like when Jeff says when you watch Gallery, because Dave Filoni talks a lot during the Gallery, and you start realizing like he's basically the new George Lucas.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just knows the world almost as much as George
There's a bunch
does.
of pictures of little kids playing with Star Wars figures, like two kids playing with Star Wars figures, and the caption is Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni right in season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's just
awesome.
playing with Star Wars figures.
Yeah,
it's all those shots from the Sears catalog of kids playing with the figures.
So that's all I got to say about it. Although we could probably see next year in some of these shows, we may see Ezra show up, and we'll see Thorne, General Thorne, or whatever he is, Admiral Thorne, the blue guy. Thrawn, yeah, Thorne. Thrawn. So I just look forward to it, and in the meantime, I'm going to keep. I may even find some of those comic books and find out, but probably not. But I might.
Are you going to watch the Clone Wars?
Pardon?
The animated. What's the animated Clone Wars thing?
Yeah, I'm going to watch that before I watch Revenge of the Sith because
Okay.
it takes place in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Does it?
As far as I know, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Is that on Disney as well?
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. All of them.
On Disney Plus.
And there's this one thing that says Disney Holiday Special, Star Wars Holiday Special, and it pisses me off.
The Lego Holiday Special, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, but I keep thinking it's the original one, and I'm like, oh shit! It's like when I used to see Arthur on the guide. I'm like, oh, Arthur's on. Oh no, it's that animated shit.
The cartoon. Yeah, I watched it day before yesterday. I watched the Holiday Special again. Oh my god,
the Lego one?
Yeah.
No, the real one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I'd really just forgotten. The cartoons part was kind of cool. The animated part of it was kind of neat.
That's how they introduced Boba Fett. Yeah.
Yeah, riding the dragon. Yeah, that was kind of neat, but it was kind of like heavy metal level animation. Yeah. But it was pretty good. But all the live action stuff. I mean, the first 30 minutes of just watching Wookiees in their house was like mind-numbing.
No translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the musical scores.
Yeah.
Yeah, the musical numbers and stuff too, where it was like women dancing in a jar. Yeah, that was
that Diane Carroll.
Diane Carroll was one. I think one of them.
Yeah.
I know that B. Arthur was in the cantina.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Art Carney's in it.
Chewbacca yeah. Art Carney. He plays the guy that helps him around the house.
What, Jeff?
Chewbacca is Lumpy's dad.
Yeah, Lumpy, and then there's Grumpy and Fucky and Sucky.
And Dasher and Blitzen.
Yeah.
And I did notice how much the kids look like that little thing that used to be on Quiznos commercials.
Oh yeah, they do. They look like Gritty. Gritty the Flyers? He looks like one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible, but still nostalgic. It's not canon, of course.
Watch that Lego Holiday Special, though. That's pretty funny.
Oh, I don't watch kid stuff.
No, dude, it's funny.
Watching Rebels. Oh, I'm kidding.
I'm not pausing my cartoon to watch this kid stuff.
Yeah, I'm not watching a young adult cartoon.
Every time they show the Death Star made out of Legos, like shit's falling off of it.
All right, guys. That's going to be the show, unless you have more you want to talk about.
No, Merry New Year.
Merry New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We say Happy New
Year. Beef jerky time.
Want some beef jerky? No, I'm afraid it gives me the wind something fierce. To watch that movie. I haven't
start using that. The winds.
Gives me the wind something. Will you be getting off on the city of brotherly love? Yeah, I will, but you won't, Lewis. One false move and the whore loses the kid.
I'm from Sweden, yeah.
Yeah.
My hoop sack.
Get out of here, or I'll rip out your piss on your brain. Got it.
Got it.
Oh, it's my turn. No, you said, oh, no, it's my turn.
All right, you guys. Happy New Year.
They're in love. All right. Happy New Year, you guys.
Your radios and
Happy New Year radios.
Thanks for coming on, Ira, and we'll talk to you next year.
Stay in touch.
Yeah, we'll be back in 2021, everybody.
Keep it canon.
Keep it canon.
Keep it canon.
Keep it canon.
Bye.